Hi everyone, and hello Tucson. Um, so I started reminiscing um, when I was a child, and then I saw something. Yeah, I saw the world, and then I saw my mom. Um, she had long fingernails. Like I said, in the past, she was a blackjack dealer, and she was always provided for from the Lord. And so when I had my son, I used to tell him all the time I loved him, and I do. I love him very much. But when my daughter became in my life, I wasn't so freely to give that word out, um, and so um, she knows I love her. I do. I love her so much. Oh my God! But with her, um, I wanted her to be independent. I didn't want her relying on another because I had struggled throughout my life, and when I did try to stand on my feet, I was pushed down, right, as a child, and through my years, even in my adult life, until I took my power back after the situation. And so, whenever something would happen to her, everybody knew. She was very clear, and if she didn't like that her needs weren't being met, or if no one was listening, she would really express that. And I thought, oh God, what did I do? I freaked out about it. But she wasn't really verbal until she hit legal age 18. So now she's an adult and she can pick and choose what she wants. Because I taught her to always respect your elders, whether you like it or not. That we could talk in private. Because we had an incident where I had an acquaintance. Well, she was my friend then. But I started noticing hatred. She had another side to her that was not appropriate. And so my daughter had flipped out on her. And first thing I did was correct her because she is an elder. And that's not how we do things. That's not how we behave. So she honored my rules. But when she became adult, she chose her own way and how she wants to express. But since she almost died when she came out of that situation, she now she does things a lot differently. She really assesses the situation. So I find it very fascinating how almost dying, well, she was real close. I'm really thankful to the fire department and the police and everyone who helped in that situation because two people almost died that day. And I'm just so very thankful. I really am. I can't tell you. But she tells me all the time, I love you. And so when I saw my mother's hand, I remember always being in the car with her, and she'd ask me, how much do you love me? And I said, I love you, Mom. And she would ask it to me like until she got what she wanted. I love you more than the whole world. And that's not, when I started walking with Father, the only person you're supposed to love more than the whole world is God. And I told her too, I had brought it up to her attention a couple years before she died. So the only one that we're supposed to love more than anything is the Father in heaven. And did my mom know? I know she's passed away. That was different, because when I was younger, well, I wasn't younger. I was like in my 20s and 30s, and I would go out and I'd buy a tarot deck, and she'd call me and go, "What you doing?" She already got the vision that I was doing that, and I'd have to get rid of it because she didn't agree, and neither did our faith, right? So I stayed away from it, and then but I would get visions and messages through the Bible. So it was really hard to be an individual. And then, so as I'm walking through this process, I keep getting these flashes, rolling in the park. I was by myself, and my mom was peeking in the bush, right? But I never knew she was there until I was told later. And then with my dad, I would ditch school early. I mean, early. I was in elementary school, You know, I did not like school. I didn't. And it was hard for me. It really was. It was really hard. Um, but I wanted to be free. Like, I wanted to be in the field. You know, if I could have a book outside and study out there, I probably would have been fine. But in the day, they didn't look at it that way, and it was only like one way to do schooling, I guess. I'm a little heavy right now. But I just, um, I just wanted to talk about that because um, we all have um, our own ways, like within us. Like we're born like this, and it's okay to be that way. But I don't tell her enough that I love her, and I probably should tell her constantly, but I don't because she knows I love her. I mean, but I always know what needs to be done, and I just do it, and that's probably how I was raised. Um, and, and walking through this journey has given us so much opportunity to talk, and she has a lot of great ideas. I'm really looking forward to it. I do believe that we're going to start a podcast because some of the things that we have talked about are important and people should hear. They should, you know, I think a lot of people should start podcasts because there's so many fascinating people out there. It's unbelievable. Um, I just wanted to share and leave that with you guys. All right, peace and God bless.